Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the English and Englishman Show. And as we always do, we get the lovely little timer and press start. 30 minutes.
Yeah, I want to know how come the timer only starts when I get to talk?
Well, my friend, it's somebody's got to be in control of this thing.
Well, yeah, and as long as that's anyone but me, right? Okay. Listen, Mr. Griffin. Just before we get on with the show, I have to say that last week you were looking pretty dapper in your quote brown velveteen unquote jacket. This week, mate, you have taken it to a new level.
Today, I felt for the many fans that I've acquired through the show that I might sport a raspberry and stone playful little number that I'm wearing.
Raspberry and stone.
So,
I don't think that would taste. I don't think that would really taste that. Anyway.
well, unlike your licorice all sorts shirt.
Well, unlike you, I mean, when I get fan mail, it's not about my clothes. Yeah, it's not about my fashion sense. I've never got any fan mail about my fashion sense, actually. Yeah. They just... I've got one message here. It's dear... around the English and the Other Guy show. Anyway, don't worry. I won't even go into it.
English I needed to say, your agent did call.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And he wanted to change your contract for the show. Okay. And I said to him, well, what do you mean? And I said, we can't afford to pay him any more than we are paying already. And he said, no, I think you should pay him less.
Is that your joke? So there's only one thing in the contract that matters.
What's
and that's the escape clause. Okay?
Escape clause, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Well, moving right along. You can always edit out that joke anyway, because you're doing the editing.
No,
what are we talking about?
I'm thinking that some people are going to appreciate that one.
Yeah, really?
We're talking about sales, that dreadful 5-letter S word that we all seem to be rather terrified of. And perhaps we should get straight into that today. Where shall we start with this subject? Why is sales such a scary word for us?
Why is it? Or what do we mean by sales? Everyone hates it. Look, if I had $1 for every person who says, Anthony, I just wish I knew how to close the deal. I hate bringing up the sale. I'm no good at selling. Good at building rapport, good at doing the charm stuff. But when it comes down to the sale, look, my emotions are going up here. And I'm thinking, if I had $1 for that, I would actually be rich. But because obviously you guys are not paying me properly, but I am not rich because I'm asking for the $1, but I get embarrassed, because I don't like sales.
And that is probably the normal reaction for people, really good at what we do, have huge value to give to our customers, but actually getting them across the line.
Yep. So here's the problem: is that I think the problem isn't actually in the sale itself. I think it's way earlier. I think it's actually so. Usually there are two approaches in particular that people speak about with sales to start to make the sales. So number one is push through the pain. Get out of your comfort zone. Just do it. You'll get used to it. Get used to rejection.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to get used to rejection. I come on this show every week. That's more than enough rejection for the entire rest of the week. I don't need to ask for more.
Yeah.
The second one people say is to have a sales process.
Hmm.
Yep. Now, I think there is a lot to be said for sales process, but here is a word that I'd like to teach you. I'd like to teach you. Ladies and gentlemen, do you have a pen? What about do we do for the people who are under 50? They wouldn't know what a pen is. All right.
I have one.
Can you take a note? Can I talk? Yeah, well, yeah, just get this on your phone or something. Okay. I want to write down this word. No. N-O.
Yep.
That's it. Darrel, I'm going to teach you something. Have you ever worked in a restaurant?
No.
No.
Have you used that word already?
Yay! Darrel had to say no. This is great.
Breakthrough.
Rejection here. I'm getting used to rejection. I know you got fans. I know everybody just loves you, but once you actually hit, the top, then you do have enemies. You just have to get used to it. So here is what is the mental switch that I'm saying. Instead of saying get used to rejection, I'm saying embrace it. And here's how. If you worked in a restaurant, so Darrel, I've just had my beautiful meal. It was wonderful. I got my colleagues here. I got my wife, my children, and we've just had this luxury meal in this extraordinary restaurant. Here I am sitting back, and then you come around to offer us the dessert menu. What do you say? Do it.
I hope you've had a wonderful meal, and wouldn't it be just fitting at this time to encapsulate the whole experience by enjoying one of our famous desserts?
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how not to sell. Now, that's why you hate sales. If Darrel were to come up to me and say, would you like to, how was the meal? Great. Would you like to see the dessert menu? That's all you need to say. It's an invitation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So do that. Try that one, Darrel. You got it? You want me to write it down, or are you okay?
Sir, how did you enjoy your meal?
It was the exquisite best meal I've had since lunchtime. Just fantastic. Thank you.
That's wonderful to hear. Would you like to see the dessert menu?
No, thanks. I think we'll just have some coffee, or we'll just get the bill and get going.
See you later then.
Okay. So now what you've got to do is have a meltdown. Okay? Because I have rejected you as a human being.
Yeah. Yeah.
It means I don't like you. I hate you. That's what it means when I say no.
Yeah. Well, that's probably a slight overreaction, isn't it? But I see where you're going with that. I see.
So it's no big deal. If I say no, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean? It means, well, no to the dessert menu. You've served us well. We love the meal. Doesn't mean we're never coming back. It doesn't mean that I reject you as a person. It's not. All it is saying, as far as I can tell from what you're offering and from what I understand I need at the moment, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Maybe no means I need more information. Maybe no means I'm not the decision maker.Maybe no means I would actually like to say yes, but I'm a bit confused. Maybe no means my wife wants to get home. I would love to stay for that dessert of profiteroles, but it is not necessarily taking you and pushing you away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one big thing I think with people who hate sales is what they're really hating is to hear no.
Yeah, maybe. But I think it's also the fact that we don't, there are a couple of issues here. I think we actually don't like being in the situation where we have to do it, right?
Yep.
Because, and this is where I think it's a communication problem.
Yep.
Not a sales problem.
Yeah.
Because if we are communicating effectively pre any talk of transaction, then we are effectively communicating the pain points that we can solve, the prognosis if somebody works with it. If all of that's being communicated well, then the selling part is actually incidental and not there's not so much pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Point.
See, the thing is, we've built an emotional rapport. So, Darrell, just pretend that you and I did actually have some kind of emotional rapport between us.
Yeah.
That you and I met, and we somehow hit it off. I was happy to talk to you, and imagine that we got along. Just asking you to imagine, okay?
Crikey, mate. You know, just pushing it, aren't you?
Just all right,
okay.
Anyway, imagine, okay? And so I've already found out a bit about your problem, a bit about your situation. You have come to me with a problem and you have misdiagnosed for sure. All right. But you have said, I just need this. And guaranteed you're going to get it wrong because you get a lot of things wrong in your life, Darrell. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of things, actually.
Just to come in there, as I discovered last week after my little attempt to be funny on the show, you know.
Ah, yeah. Well,
with the reference to, what was it? The Bachelor Show. And we'll leave it just there.
We'll leave it just there. Those who are super curious and have got a lot of time on their hands can go back and look at that show.
Say it too.
Both of you can. Well, it wouldn't even be. Anyway, so we have got our. I've diagnosed what your problem is. I actually had somebody sell something to me a couple of days ago. She didn't want to do it. She didn't want to sell it to me. And we were actually talking about nobody wants to be sold to. And she said, actually, you know, people don't mind being sold to once they've actually got the need.
Yeah.
She actually identified a particular need that I had, and she didn't want to sell it to me. I said, that is what I need. See that thing? That's what I need. I actually had to get her to sell it to me.
Yeah.
And because I saw that was exactly the piece of coaching and so on that I needed. It was a complete gap that I needed to fix in my business. So I actually had to do the selling for her. And I think the thing is that people don't want to be sold at.
Yes. But I think, but I'd say part of this then is the fact that we are trying to communicate the prescription rather than the pain and the prognosis. We're actually saying this is what we do rather than saying this is, you know, I empathize with where it hurts and this is how we can solve that.
Well, this is a huge problem is that people, especially in service businesses, is that people are selling their solution. Guarantee you look at any bookkeeper's website, here's what we do. We do bank reconciliation. We'll keep the tax man off your back. We'll help you with, we'll do your accounts and we'll let you know the numbers in your business. And so we'll take away the hassle so that you can focus on your core business. Every website, well, I was going to say every bookkeeper's website in the world advertises the same way. Maybe not.
Yeah.
But they're selling a solution. Well, I don't actually need a solution. I need, well, maybe I need a solution, but they're selling what their deliverables are. You really want to be able to penetrate what their problem is.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the actual selling itself, when you're actually doing the sale, the reason that we don't like to do that when it's in the services business and people say push your way through, just do it, or use a sales process. Sales process got a lot of advantages, of course, but the reason we don't like to do it is because we think, hang on, we're friends, we're both facing the same way. Then all of a sudden I'm putting you in conflict with me. I'm going to sell something to you, which is bad for you. You're going to have to pay me so that I can make money because this is all about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, it's not all about you, Darrell. I'm really sorry to tell you this. Really, really sorry. I know. But when you're in a sales situation, here's what's going on. You're serving them. You're helping them out of a mess.
Yep.
You are giving. And so if you are a giver, the sale itself is a continuation of your giving. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's beautiful. Viewers, do you think that's beautiful?
And listeners.
And listeners. Beautiful listeners and viewers.
One of each.
The sale is a continuation of your giving. You're continuing to give.
That is beautiful. But what does that look like practically?
I knew you'd ask that. I wasn't ready for that question. When you are giving, you are giving, you are still giving. You are giving relief. You are giving pain relief. It's not about you. The sale is not about you getting your thing across the line or meeting your sales target.
Yeah, absolutely.
The sale itself is around, hey, I can see that you've got this problem.
Yeah.
I can see that you've got this problem and you need it solved. Would this work? Do you have my permission to move on? Do we have permission to move to the next step? Do you know what I do in the sales process now, selling my business coaching? This is really going to scare you. This is really going to scare you. In my business coaching, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I do. I get to a point, I say, listen, we're at a point now where we're ready to make the sale. I'm about to sell to you. Are you ready? I actually say that.
Okay. And that's generally, I mean, you must have got to a point in the conversation where the person is comfortable enough with your style that, I mean, and let's face it, look, I understand what you're saying, but there's a huge amount of groundwork that's been going on here. We're not talking about, this isn't a cold call situation, is it?
No, not at all. So exactly, it's a huge amount of groundwork. However fast that might be, we're really just trying to work out, are you a good fit? Am I a good fit? Is this going to work for you? Because if you're a cardiologist and I come in and I think I need a heart bypass, actually, let's do that. Hey there, Darrel, I need a heart bypass.
Sit there, sir. I'll just plumb you into the anesthetic and we'll get it underway.
So if you did that, you would be in prison.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm not qualified.
But even if you were, you would still be in prison because I'm coming in, I'm self-diagnosing. I'm saying that I need a heart bypass because I Googled it. I found that I'm getting some chest pain after I eat, and I've got chest pain. Aha, you need a heart bypass. I Googled it. And you said, well, the customer's always right. Hop up on the bed.
Yeah.
And we'll get started. Now you might give me a perfect heart bypass. And I'll come back like 6 weeks later, I'll say, I'm still getting the pain in my chest. Yeah, well, when you eat that hot food or when you eat that food, probably try and chew a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Your job is to work out. Your job in sales is to work out, is this a good fit?
Let me ask another question. Is sales unavoidable?
Is sales unavoidable?
Yeah. Is it for an entrepreneur or a small business owner, a coach, a consultant?
Service business.
Yeah. Is sales unavoidable? Do we, by nature, default to things like SEO and the website and anything other than sales to try?
You mean the sales conversation? Well, obviously, any business needs to make sales.
Even advertising, the sales conversation. I'm referring
sales convo. So, is it unavoidable? Well, I would say in a service business, that's the way that it's going to happen in a B2B setting, so business to business. I just need to point out, viewers and listeners, that B2B means business to business. Could you just put that on the bottom of the screen or something, just for the people, because we've got a very wide audience here. You know that, Darrel?
I will try to remember that when I'm in editing.
Yeah, B2B, business to business.
Business to business.
Okay. Yeah, and it's the number 2, but it doesn't actually mean 2. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I'll try and remember.
B2B, good. Hope he's got that. So,
TWO.
what was the question?
Is sales unavoidable? Is the sales conversation unavoidable then, if you prefer?
Yeah, isn't that an interesting way of framing it? Unavoidable. I actually enjoy it now. I used to hate sales, and I'm now saying, you know what? I don't think this is a good fit for you.
Yeah.
I think it's time for us to move on. Or else I say, I think this is worth it. I can see what your problem is. Here is it worth solving? Yeah. I think it's worth solving for you, for your business. I don't think you can wait another 6 months. Here is, I'm inviting you, I'm asking permission at every step. I'm inviting them, I'm earning the right to take the next step. And I just say, well, here is what I think we should do. I think it's worth it if I were you, but what do you think? It's up to you. I'm not the buyer.
I have to be honest with you, though we would have different styles, it's probably quite similar.
Very collaborative.
Yeah. It's helping the customer to recognize that, this is why you're in pain.
This is why you're in pain. Does this pain really matter? Can you put up with it? And hey, this is what I can fix. This is how I can help. Now, yeah. And so it's really, and we do have different styles, I have to say. We have different styles of fashion. We have different styles of beard. Some of us are clean shaven and others are not.
Some of us are clean shaven.
I do that. Why do you do that? Why do you do that?
It's just, I'm getting used to the fact, as the show evolves, this will get longer.
Are you just too cheap to shave? Is that what it's about?
No, I just it's actually quite a comfort.
Quite a comfort, is it?
Yeah. And I actually...
Like therapy, is that what you mean?
Maybe it's a combination with the glasses and the beard. I actually...
Glasses. Can you do the glasses thing? That's that's good. That's good. I know some of the big podcasters on LinkedIn, the big webinar guys, the ones who've got LinkedIn Live, which I don't have, by the way. LinkedIn Live. How good would I be on LinkedIn Live? Do you want me to go across to TikTok? Come on. Get me LinkedIn Live.
I haven't even...
Get me LinkedIn Live.
I've not even asked for it. So.
You got to do the glasses thing. You got to press the glasses. This is the thing to do on LinkedIn Live. Okay. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Wear your glasses and put. You watch every LinkedIn Live. Anyone wearing glasses, you're going to see them do that.
Okay.
You just watch.
I just wanted to kind of also express how I have found personally, going back to the sales conversation.
So you just did it to your glasses. Go on.
Because they're sliding down my nose because, I'm sweating in your presence. The sales conversation, how we can take the pressure off of ourselves by, and this is what I'm trying to say to some of my clients, all of my clients, if we're good at communicating.
You've got more than two? Yeah. That's good.
The few that I'm working with at present, if we're good at communicating far earlier in the process, if we can actually position ourselves well, if we can communicate the pain and the prognosis far earlier, then when we actually get to this point in the buyer journey where they are evaluating us, there's an evaluation stage before purchase, and people evaluate the alternatives. And the thing is, if we've not been good at communicating prior to that, we are at risk at just being one of those, one on a list. And that is the place where none of us want to be, because that's where the race to the bottom on price occurs. And that's what makes the sales conversation even more stressful. So.
Well, absolutely. And it's stressful for the clients as well, because they don't want to say no. Yeah. They don't want to. And so it's almost like training people just to run the last lap. When people say, "Oh, I want to learn how to close the deal, how to use the different close techniques," it's like training them just for the last lap of the marathon. Do you like that metaphor? Do you like that metaphor?
Yeah.
How long does it take you to run a marathon? Well, not you personally, because it's going to take a little while. but how long does it take to prepare for a marathon?
Oh, yeah.
That's when it happens.
Yeah.
That's when the sales conversation, instead of you thinking of it as me versus them,
Yeah.
you look at it in terms of, I can see where they are. I can see where they want to be. I know why that is. How do we move them? How can I help them to get from where they are to where they want to be?
Exactly. So this is what I say. It's no longer about primarily being a skilled closer. It's about being a more skilled opener. We've got to become better at communicating these important things to the customer that matter to them because those are the things that open the doors to the sales conversation anyway. So
absolutely. And the other thing is, as a lot of salespeople point out, closing is not great terminology, because closing means I've closed off this file, we got them. But closing is actually really opening, and that's not even opening the relationship, because that's happened way back when you first met them. Or even before you met them, when they saw your content, or when they saw something or they heard you referred to or recommended, and then the closing itself happens. Well, that is really just beginning now we're moving on to the next step. So it's a series of mutually agreed next steps. We both know what the next step is. Very simple.
Just quickly, because we're
when you say just quickly, do you actually mean that?
Quickly. Do you think that, can you imagine a world where cold calling is illegal?
Oh, well, it has been made illegal in some places.
Has it?
Yeah, but well, we have the do not disturb thing in Australia, don't we? Do not disturb. We are not allowed to call a home phone. Once again, we have to explain to our younger listeners what a home phone is, a landline. And so we have, where people are not allowed to cold call. But the whole notion of cold calling is, how cold is cold?
Oh yeah, I'm just assuming that you're using a database of some description, and you're just
know nothing about them. It's the people who I know who do cold calling well, which is not that many, but those who do, it's not cold for them. The
problem I have with it, this is my bugbear with it, is that
you've got a lot of bugbears, Well,
I do, but this is a soapbox moment. I have not given you permission to call me.
Right.
And there should be some way to register to say, I do not want to be cold called.
We do have that in Australia called the Do Not Call Register, and I believe it exists in the United States. And I must say, I'm kind of liking the fact that you're getting a little bit agitated here, Darrel.
Yeah.
It's like you got a bit of blood in you, you got a bit of fire in you. I like this. It shows passion.
Well, I just think
I'm ready to sell to you, because,
we live in an age where we need to respect that the power of choice is in the hand of the customer, and we need to stop assuming that we have permission just because we've got their telephone number that we can phone them up and talk. That is just arrogance, I'm afraid.
Listen, just one other thing for the editing team of E&E show is that, can we just put Darrel's phone number on the bottom of because I want to hear all of you calling him, cold calling him, and see if you can record his response, just to see whether he's such a dapper, gentlemanly, suave, sophisticated, polite gentleman that he is on the show, because he's not always like that, folks.
I can tell you immediately my response. It's called voicemail.
Voicemail.
I never, if I see my phone is ringing and I do not recognize the number, I do not answer it.
Okay. Hello, is that Mr. Griffin? You have just won the lottery. Please call us in 30 minutes, within 30 minutes, or the money will go to your colleague, your far deserving colleague, your well-deserved colleague in Sydney, Anthony English. I'd love to hear your voicemail.
Yeah, it's sometimes I mean, I get calls from random numbers. They never leave a message or anything. Well, they're hoping that I'm going to pick up the phone and answer it. Well,
It could be drowning. They could be drowning, and you are the last person in Perth who knows how to swim and save them. And they could be just calling you.
Well, then they're going to drown then. Oh, dear. Well,
see what I got to work with? See what I have to work with, viewers and listeners?
Well, there we have it, friends. Another scintillating. Actually, I think we packed in some value into that half an hour. Mr. English, thank you so much as always for that riveting. Actually, I learned a lot from you there today, sir. So I do thank you for that, and I look forward to next week, whatever subject that comes up.
I have got no idea what you're going to wear, and I've got no idea what we're talking about. Don't let that stop us.
No, absolutely.
Never has before.
Catch you later.